.NET guys the other day.
Oh, the
Great.
.NET guy. Oh, you mean Cecil and friends, and Rodney and these and Elon? Yeah,
Yeah.
that was literally yesterday. I was talking about the work that we've been doing. Well, there's OData as it stands, and then there is OData Neo, right? And like I said before, there isn't enough, in the world today talking about OData and its capability. Did you see the GraphQL question? It's like, okay, why don't we? I was like, well, look, here it is. I just kind of 3 lines of code and hit a web browser, and here you go. So anyway, I think there's advantages and disadvantages in both. I just still think that OData is extremely more aligned and really superior in terms of kind of adaptation, right? Like if I'm telling you, hey, write SQL commands, write link commands, write REST commands. So you're writing query language in three different realms versus coming to you and saying, hey, post a body, and that's how you query. It didn't quite
Weird.
compute. It didn't quite
Yeah.
compute to me. And I thought it was weird. I agree. I also thought it was weird because, if that's how this is working. Anyway, ideally, the thing about technology is that like it's just like everything else. Survival is for not the fittest, not the strongest, but the most adaptive, the one that actually can adapt and all that. And that's what OData Neo is about. We want to be able to, you know, the day I see myself using OData Neo in microservices where I can transcend queries and fan out queries and collect back, that's the day I can tell you we have achieved a big milestone, and we're getting there. I mean, we have the ability to pass in a raw query, convert it into link. Just this little example that I showed him yesterday, I was happy just looking at that. Apply query and then run that stuff. I thought that was pretty neat. Anyways, where were we? We're really slackers. We really need to get to step on the gears for this one a little bit because I want to get that alpha release as soon as fast as possible. Hey Florian, nice to meet you. Um, I Paul, I'm gonna try to kind of shift some of the AI stuff. If you're interested, I'll try to shift some of it around so you can join us. I know it's really early for you, and I don't
Yeah,
know,
I was planning on getting on the other day because I was up at like
very
3 a.m.
early.
because my
Yeah,
daughter's been sick lately, and I
sick.
thought, oh
Yeah.
well, sod it. If I'm going to be up anyway, I might as well join. And I think I probably got to about 4:30. That's the latest I remember, and I must have
Mhm.
just crashed. So I was just like, damn. I woke up that morning and was like, ah.
So, so just to understand, I asked ChatGPT, I said, what's the best, like, okay, let me just show you. So Florian is in France. You have Mabrouk in Germany. You have Parker's in Australia. We tried this. We basically went and said, I said, what's the best time for people from Germany, UK, Australia, France. See, well, I need to name names because different time zones, right? Berlin, London. You have the same time zone across the country, right, Paul?
Yeah. The UK's tiny, mate. We're all in one time zone.
You're basically just the size of Texas
But
for us.
the world revolves around UTC, which goes right through Greenwich. So us
Sid,
Brits have always, like, coined onto the fact that the world revolves around us. So that's what we stick with.
that's classic English people right there. Berlin, London, and then there's Puerto Rico as well. So Puerto Rico, I think. So one, two, three, four, five, six, to meet without having to stay up late or wake up too early, assuming that late is anything after 10 p.m. and early is anything before 7 or 8 a.m. It's a hard equation. So what's the time? It would be, oh, I forgot to add myself. Uh, did I not add Seattle? Oh, that's so stupid. Okay, let me ask the question again. I forgot to add
Of all the
myself.
ones to miss.
Yeah, of all the ones, you gotta sometimes Puerto Rico and then Seattle. I know there are people from different other places. I just can't remember all of them. They're all over the place, all over the place. So consider the time zones and
I just love that AI can just solve this stuff.
look how fast. So everyone will be happy except for me. It'll be like 2 in the morning for me. Which is okay. I could probably do it, but because I have two people with me that are here in Redmond, with me, Kailu, who is also here with us in Redmond, he's not gonna join at 2 a.m. The furthest I could take him was like 1 a.m., but beyond that point, he will not go there. So I don't know. What is it for Puerto Rico? Oh my God, it's 5 in the morning. So it's really bad for me and Ricardo, you
I
know.
think, given the spread, whatever time you book it, you're going to have that problem of it's just unsociable hours for someone. I think what I might do is get in the habit of like maybe once a week or something. I'll just get
No,
up
no,
at
no.
5
I have an
a.m.
idea. I have an idea. We'll scale out. What that basically means is that we're gonna have a European session. And then we're gonna have, well, I don't want to, well, European sessions, the perfect one for people in Europe, right? And maybe people around in Asia, like people in Tashkent in Uzbekistan, could probably catch at the tail end of that. So it'll be like 7 p.m. for them when it's like 4 p.m. for you, right? And then, for people, that would be like different time zones. Like I can go with that range and see like if we can catch you and Florian and a couple of other people at this time, that would be one session. And then the one at 10 p.m., that would be another session, so we can double down and progress and increase the speed on this because it's really like, to be honest with you, think about it, Paul. I don't know if you saw the last session, but once you set up the infrastructure and you set up one working solution, the rest of it is just, do as I do, pretty much the same kind of, uh, thing. So I will think about this. I will find time for us. Probably, what's 4 p.m. for me? What is it for you? 4 p.m. for Seattle.
So we're 8 hours ahead of you, I believe. So midnight. That wouldn't be too bad.
You can't do 4 p.m.
Why not? I
Hmm.
mean, it'd be
It's
midnight
late.
for here,
It's very
right?
late. It's very, very late for you.
Yeah.
Um, it'll break your brain. Um,
I'm a bit weird, so I don't function in the mornings before like 10 o'clock, right? So it's
okay,
like
when does
I
your
get up
brain?
at like so I get up obviously with the girls, right? Like somewhere between 7 and 8 or whatever. I have a coffee that goes through my system. I start work at 9, say morning to everybody, but I'm not actually functional until 10. That's pretty much how it works. And then like the later on it gets in the day, the
Mm,
more functional I tend to be.
mm.
So yeah, so by like midnight, my brain is buzzing, and then I have this problem of like, now how do I switch off and go to sleep?
Okay, I will try to set up a new like another sessions for OpenAI. You're gonna have to get on this. I'm not gonna let you kind of go around. I don't care what you say. You're gonna have to get on this. And I wish Callum was still around. We could pull him into this, but I saw him. Kind of. You told me all the stuff, but um, okay, I can do 4 p.m. probably. 4 p.m. you know, which will be so it'll be two sessions. It's 4 p.m. Florian, can you do 4 p.m. in France? Are you the same time as Paul?
uh, I think it's one more hour, right? So it would be, yeah. So midnight for me would be like 1 a.m. for him. So it probably would be too late. But if you pulled it back, say, an hour or two, so like Florian was starting at like 11 and I was starting at 10. So that would be what, 1, 2 ish in the afternoon for you. That would be
For
easier.
for me, 1 o'clock, 1 p.m.
Yeah.
Probably. I could make that work. Usually, Usually, I will just press down on the interns. I have interns in my company where I just kind of give them the afternoons, but I kind of press down that and spread them a little bit across because they're only Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. So I'm gonna push them across to, Mondays and Fridays.
Yeah.
Mondays, and then we can make them we can kind of do the 1 p.m., right? And we can fluctuate the 1 p.m. as well. Like we can set 1 p.m. to always be OpenAI O data. So it's other day, every other day, right? So
Yeah,
this way,
this timing for the OData sessions is ideal because I've just finished my working day and I can
this
roll
right here,
straight in.
the
Yeah,
10:30. Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Because what tends to happen is like if I'm running late at work, I won't finish bang on 5 o'clock. It'll be like half five, six-ish, or sort of just before six-ish. I normally have a bit of a catch up with the family, find out what's going on,
Mm,
dinner time
mm.
and stuff like that. And then I sit back down, and that's when I begin the OData sessions. So yeah, this sort of time of day is kind of
It's
ideal.
perfect.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay, we'll make that work. Um, so 11, around 11 for OData and 1 p.m. for the European session, and then at night around 10 p.m. that's the world session or something. We have to treat European a
don't
little bit special.
don't burn yourself out though. Try not to.
Burn myself out?
Yeah,
So look, whatever you see on social media that's kind of public, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Like what's happening actually behind the scene. Like it's not a coincidence that I go on the keyboard like this and I have the answers and whatnot. That's because, there's 10 times what I do behind the scenes that people don't see on social media. That's much larger than that. So this is like it's like going to the park, It's just like kind of hanging out. This is actually my break.
you have no idea. So that B2B stuff we were talking about.
Mm,
We've started getting that running today. And when I
okay.
say getting it running, it's deployed in Azure. We're doing testing on it, and we're
Yeah.
fixing the final few bugs to get all the pieces up and running. It's so complicated. I have to give people an idea, right? I have a single API call that I make. I've estimated it hits somewhere between 70 to 100,000 lines of code, all written to the standard, by the way.
Good.
And it's a single API call. It's just like the chain of events that just comes from it is just nuts. But yeah, it's arguably kind of like one of the most complex systems I think I've ever built. But as part of that, I've got my own eventing library. Our single sign-on stuff is now behaving really nicely. So I want to talk about that with you at some point. There's the core piece that I'm planning to rebuild, which includes this workflow engine and
Hmm.
that ties in really nicely with this AI stuff. So I want to have a real, blast at that. And all the core stuff around sort of workflow, content management, document management, it would be really cool if we could do sessions on that. We could show people how to build from scratch to the standard
Hmm.
all of these like core systems that just function inside businesses. So yeah, really good time for us at the moment.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool. Let's see here. Um, let's get started. Okay, let's see here. So, uh, um, so the last time we stopped here, we had a thing that we needed to handle exceptions for. So we handled all the validation exceptions. Now we just need to handle the dependency exceptions, which we already have in here. We have argument null exception. We have argument exception. We have a compilation. We don't need the compilation error exception because we're not doing compilation, but definitely these two things are there. And then there's the exception. We want to be very careful with this because the let's see here. This is, some of these are like like we don't know really. You never really know what the full um whatchamacallit, what's all the things that can be produced when you say apply expression like that. We really don't know what all the things that can possibly come out of that, right? But
Well,
you
I
know,
got told by some dude on Twitter today that this is dead easy. So I don't know what your problem is, mate.
right? Okay.
I think it is just a case though of being like, yeah, spread a wide net, right? I mean,
Mhm.
if you're handling exception, then yeah, you're handling everything that could possibly happen.
Right.
But it's a case of then, as people start using the library, I think they're going to start to report, hey, there's this weird case that you haven't handled, and then if we can reproduce those cases, then that's when we'll start to sort of bolt down the logic. I
Mhm.
think that what we've produced largely because it hasn't really hit the wild yet, we haven't really seen that
Mhm.
robust level of testing that it's going to get, essentially. But
Mhm.
once it gets out there, I think we'll identify a lot more paths through it that
Mhm.
perhaps we
Mhm.
haven't thought of. That's been my experience with everything I've built with the standard, to be fair.
Right.
Like,
Right. And that's totally fair. Sam, off the top of your head, other than argument exception and argument null exception and all that, uh, can you think of any other exceptions that can come out of this? What is
Argument
it?
no exception,
Like
non-library
what are
exception.
yeah, like what are exceptions that could come? Okay, why don't we do this? Sam, can you run this code locally and try to play around with the inputs and tell me, and let's see what kind of exceptions we get.
Locally.
Yeah, yeah, like this apply method. Let's just monkey around with it. Let's just see what we can get out of it. Hey, Vladimir.
Let me
I guess depending on the source of the iQueryable,
open it. Go
Mhm.
ahead.
I guess depending on the source of the iQueryable, you could get all sorts of strange things, right?
Right. We're looking at least for the generic ones. Right.
Yeah, because iQueryable is not
Which
actually
method?
something concrete.
What is
Apply expression.
Yeah, it's foundations. Paul Wardy's type in apply expression, it will pop up the branch. Where did Sam go? Sam, you're
I'm
still
here.
here? Okay, let's do it. If we can just at least find the exceptions that will be thrown when we kind of pass bad things to this, it should do the trick.
Yeah. If we can get filter working, then I'll start using it in anger, because I think with just select and filter, I can cover quite a lot of functionality there.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know how much work it would take to get filter working, right? I mean, it's probably, now that we've done select, we've got a complete stack with bulk of it, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it's just a matter of, I think where the complexity is going to come in is the recursive nature of OData, right? Because you can put a filter inside a select or a select inside a filter.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, it's expands, isn't it? Where you have that nested relationship. No, I think it's the same with. Just trying to think about it. Yeah, you get where I'm going though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just having some base set of, I think just select on its own isn't something that somebody would want to put in a production environment yet.
We want people to kind of play around with the library, and there might be, places out there where people just need select. They don't need anything, right? But we will continue to add on top of that. Like once select is solid and it's nested and all that cool stuff, I'm gonna say, okay, we go from alpha to beta, right? And we start releasing. I want to release stuff. I want material things that people can take and use, right? Um, let's just see what we're doing. It's not an easy problem to solve. Like what we're solving right now, it's not an easy problem, right? So that's why it's taking a little bit longer than just building a little .NET library on top of an existing API, right? So
I got told it was obvious, mate. OData is obvious, and we don't need ORMs. We should just have like Dapper for everything, apparently.
yeah.
But we don't need ORMs. But isn't Dapper an ORM? I don't know. I'm confused. What would I know? I've only been doing this 20 years. I haven't got a clue.
Florian says my company asked if I could do workshops again, and I proposed to do the standard live coding session. I done one of these. They're actually really nice people. I didn't understand what they were saying because they were speaking French, but Florian was translating and stuff. It was pretty cool. I think bringing the standard community to your company, whatever it is, for a workshop, and having us kind of talk to people about our experience and whatnot, because we've been doing this for a long time, and we may as well kind of share our experiences with people. I know that almost every member I know in the standard community has at least brought it up at least once in their companies and trying to apply these principles and guidelines. Needless to say, Paul is an apostle because he didn't bring it up. He rewrote everything according to the standard, which is pretty neat.
I went,
Sam,
hiya, Sam, let's rebuild a business.
yeah, yeah. Sam, are you doing something? Do you want to share your screen?
Yeah. Let
Sharing
me
screen
share
is kind of
screen.
important because it's a.
You told him to poke and prod it, didn't you? And he's off. He's gone. It was like, yes, an opportunity to do code. You know what it sounds like.
Sam with his bright screen.
Oh,
So
Jeez.
you want me run the method to see what exception?
Yeah, let's play
would
around with this. So
do.
take whatever we put in the broker. If you go to the broker, do you see that method that says apply expression?
Yeah.
Copy that. Copy all that.
No. I just call that. I want to call this one.
Cool.
Why
Do
copy
it. Sounds
Huh?
good. Sounds good. Let's
Yeah,
go.
I can copy that to a console application, but we can
You're
use a tester to verify it.
my brother in tech. You're fine. Let's go.
So so let's see.
Zoom in a little bit, Sam.
Okay. It's better?
Yeah, PETA. I love it.
So extreme.
Someone did a master. So Sharaf made a
You
master's
can see
pre-master project
we
called.
assume it,
Nice. Go ahead, Sam. I'm
I
listening. Huh?
think it should will run a non-reference because we cast that to master call. But
Let's do
the
it.
expression could be anything, right?
Yeah, let's pass on all and see.
So if it's constant.
No. Oh, okay.
It
the
doesn't matter.
ultimate constant.
Crazy business.
Crazy.
Thank you for doing this, Sam.
I think it will through non-reference expressions first.
Let's see. So just while Sam is doing this, Sharaf just shared his pre-master's degree project. He built a project called Software Modernization using the standard case study CV Builder application. We're going academia. I love that. Sweet. Okay, Sam, run it. Let's blow up. Put a try catch there. Let's see what kind of exception it throws.
It's running.
Oh, it is running. Okay.
I've got
non-reference exception.
Good. That's one.
I've got a really interesting problem I want to run by you, actually, that I don't know that it fits. And
boy.
And it could also be through exception as non-reference exception method call. So if we want to continue to verify, need more queues to build the expression.
Anyway, we're gonna be validating against nulls on the service, but it's good to know that we have null reference exception. But what else can we get out of it?
Yeah, what else?
What if the iQueryable is null?
If iQueryable is null.
Yeah.
That would throw a null reference as well, I would have thought.
The argument null exception, I think.
Let's see. Let's try.
So master info.
Sources? Shouldn't that be source, not sources?
It should be source. Why did we call it source? Do a code drop for it, please, Paul.
Okay.
Just to create an issue at least, and we'll give it to someone in the community to.
What I'm thinking. So here's the non-exception.
Mm-hmm.
Call. Can I do a call? We have a master info. We have a instance.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Just create an empty, like an iQueryable of string, but it's a null.
No. Yeah, I can create empty iQueryable.
No, not like null
There's
iQuery.
no very. I mean, we should pass this one. Because we verify, we take the expression into consideration at hand, and we
Mm-hmm.
call this one.
Right.
Because if we cast the expression as master call, this call, because it's using the period, right? To access the message on the master call,
Mm.
boom, it's non-reference expression.
Right.
So we need how to pass this one.
I see. Oh, I see what you're saying. Let's
We
just
need to build an expression at hand and pass all this code and to verify this one.
let's do what we did with the POC. Let's create an expression out of OData or
Do we have a
Question.
Yeah.
This is in a broker, right? So
Yeah.
it's
presumably
a broker.
presumably we've got a service that sits on top of this, so we should be validating the parameters that we give to the broker.
Every component for itself, even if your foundation service is validating, maybe another foundation service will not be sharing this.
I guess my issue here is that we've got business logic in a broker, right?
Do we? What's the business logic in the broker?
Oh, well, if you do validation, you've got business logic in the broker, right?
We're not. We're saying the broker is emitting, due to the external libraries that it's using, it's emitting dependency validation exceptions.
So how can
We're trying to know what are these exceptions so we can handle them at the foundation service level. Where are you? What happened to you?
No. It's like, because it's building stuff, isn't it? If you go back to the method, Sam.
Yeah.
So go back to the apply expression in the expression broker.
I mean, we need to build.
Sam, your internet is cutting out really bad. Are you hardwired or Wi-Fi? Sam, are you hardwired? Okay.
No, I want to create a master call expression.
Okay.
Do you understand that? It's a call.
Yeah.
And then we can pass it here. It's a method. Go ahead.
We should do a session just on expression building and stuff, because then we can look at the dependency that we have.
So if we need to build the master call, we need more codes to create that, and input it's a null, so we can verify anything happened when we call invoke here. I think it's through null argument null exception, because so for example, if we want to call select method, so check the source, right? Through if null, we are through if null, because we will call this method, invoke this method.
Right.
And we also, it will also through a selector.
The selector.
And also call this one create query. and we'll call this method call. So maybe we can add a non-reference exception and argument non-exception ahead, and do some other things in another section or as a homework, so we can finish it at.
Okay. Okay. The homework then is just to we'll do the service exception and a couple of non-reference exceptions, sure. The only homework I want is to basically just go and find out all the other exceptions that can be thrown, you know, in this. Just collect that information for me, and I won't call the task done until this is taken care of. Okay, so on my side here, I am then going to go write a test.
Random thought, Hassan.
Go ahead.
You've got GPT Plus, haven't you?
Yeah.
Stick it on version 4, copy paste that method in, and ask it the question.
Sure. Let's try it. I don't think it'll be. I don't think it's that smart, but we could try. I mean, it always surprised me. It always surprised me with the answers that it came up with.
Yeah.
So let's do this. What are all the exceptions that can be thrown out of the following method in C#? Sharp is going nuts. He's like, "Oh, AI, yeah, let's do that." That's the thing. That's the thing about people.
I've got AI on the brain lately.
That's the thing about people like Paul, right? We will be going in direction A, and he'll be like, "Hey, have you considered Z?" Or Z, I guess, you know, and several exceptions could be thrown during the execution of the, okay, invalid cast.
Ooh, we didn't spot that.
Valid expression. Okay, so we have invalid cast exception. Oh, that's good. That's good stuff.
GPT-4 is genuinely impressive from what I've seen.
It's scary, dude. It's like, you know, and they're already working on 5.
Yeah.
Like right now, it takes image and it takes sound.
Why
right?
does I mean as keyword sleuth invalid cast exception?
Yeah, when you use as instead of a cast, it'll just return null instead of throwing an exception.
Yeah, it's just return null, right?
Yeah, so if we change that first line, the var method call expression equals expression as method call expression, if we change that to do a cast, it'll actually throw an exception instead of just return a null. I think that's what it's trying to say anyway.
And then there's argument. Oh my God. So this is just a real life kind of presentation of what this thing is capable of, just in terms of like, oh, let's go research. No, why would you research? Just toss it at AI.
Exactly.
Arguments out of range. Oh my God, that's right.
I've got some really interesting ideas of how I can use this to literally generate entire code bases.
I think we broke it. It ran out of come on. Yeah, seriously, it just ran out of tokens or something. So
you probably want to read back to the question, say, okay, ignoring invalid cast and argument null exceptions, what other exceptions can be thrown?
Right. Type to continue? What is no, type what? There's nothing. Continue.
No, it's still
you can't do that. Okay.
Yeah, if you go back to the second response, it's still spitting it out. That's it. The 1-2 is the previous.
No, Sharaf, toasters are not fun. He's asking. Toasters are fun, right?
This one is.
This one is.
To be honest, I wouldn't have this like write the code for us or do code reviews or anything.
Exactly.
But it's a great tool, right? It points us in the right direction, and it's something that can kind of answer the obvious stuff that might take a human, I don't know, hours to look into. Gee, where's it getting all this stuff from?
It's target exception. This can be thrown if method info invoke method if the specified method is not static. Okay. Target parameter count exception. Do we believe all of it? I mean, it makes sense, but Sam, do you have a method access exception? My God. It's even telling you why and where in the code, and it's annoying.
I guess what we should do is just write a test, right, that checks for each of these exceptions by literally trying to reproduce that scenario in the parameters.
Do I just say continue?
I think that's it. It's finished, isn't it?
Nope.
Oh, it's still going.
It's not done yet. Oh my God, that's insane. Florian, it's not slow. GPT-4 is by default slow. It's working with much more parameters. You can also ask it to summarize it to only give you the name. Well, we want to understand it to know if it's real or not, but yeah, that's also an option. That's right.
Yeah. We kind of want the details, right? Because we want the explanation of like how that
because I
exception can be thrown.
Yep, I want to know if it's a validation, dependence validation exception, or just a dependence exception and all that. Okay, well, let me gather all of these and put them into our theory data method and see how that works. So let's go back here. So what I need in the O expression service, not this one, in here. And I guess I can do this now, can't I? Yeah, it is. Okay. So in here, I basically need theory data to kind of handle these exceptions that are coming. It's not an O query. It should be an O expression, really. Do we have two methods in here? Yeah. We need to break this apart as well because this is just ugly. So okay, so here's the other dependency exceptions. So public static theory data exceptions, apply dependency exceptions, and let's just take these in. So I can go from let me go back to the web page here real quick. So we have invalid cast exception. We have argument null exception. We have argument out of range exception. We have target exception. We have target parameter. I hope that you can just normally instantiate all of these, because if we can't, that'd be a big problem. And by the way, all of them so far are real exceptions. Like, it's not making this up. It's really, you know. And then there is not supported exception.
Some of them are going to be buried quite deep in the dependencies, but I think this is the problem with depending on something as complex as like Roslyn or this invoke stuff. It's so arbitrarily dynamic that we've got to figure out a nice way of handling the complexity, I guess.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Like, some of them are easy to initialize, some of them are gonna be a pain in the rear to kind of do. But let's just see here. New return new theory data with exception. I like how AI is trying to write the code for me, and AI told me about the code that I need to write, and it's fantastic. So let's do this. And then let's do this. This feels like the argument that, marketers used to have when, companies started during the dot-com boom. Basically, companies started saying, oh, who needs websites to buy products? right? It's not gonna be able to substitute customer service, right? And today, everybody's just buying things online, so it's gonna be interesting. So all of them are nice except for this one. What does this one want? Just an exception? Okay. So var some exception equal new exception. Okay, now the question is, let's classify those. Are all of these dependency exceptions or some of them dependency validation exceptions? The question here would be, which one of these are caused because of what the user passed in into that method, right? So I need to break this into two. And I need to go here and say dependency validation exceptions like this. And what do we have? So invalid cast, argument null. I know that these two go into dependency validation. Like this. I know that. I also know that, let's see here.
So the dependency is the arguments or the invoke method and what's behind that?
Okay, let's see here. One sec. What was the question?
When you refer to dependencies at this level, because
Mhm.
so it's whatever's going on behind the broker, right? So the dependency is what? .NET or our arguments that are going in?
No. Dependency is something that failed. It could be something that you passed in, but it's not necessarily a parameter, but could be a configuration. You know what I mean?
So a validation exception is we did something wrong. A dependency
Right.
validation is we did something wrong by passing an incorrect argument.
Exactly.
And a dependency exception is the dependency just blew up.
Exactly. The dependency blew up, whether because of a configuration that's preset or because it's just the thing blew up by itself, like it just freaked out by itself.
As in, we gave it something that was too complicated to handle, or
Exactly.
but it wasn't invalid. It was just complex, and like the library we're depending on couldn't handle it.
No, not something that we. So okay, there is an exception that will be caused out of the setup, the configuration.
Right.
Like for instance, if you pass in bad connection string and the database fails, that's not a dependency validation. That's just a dependency exception. Because that's it's not the user that's consuming your system that caused the error. It's a setup of the dependency that caused the dependency to fail.
Right. So in the context of what we're doing here, you're thinking like, say, some default in the way .NET's configured.
Something default, right? And and then there's another dependency exception, which is just the dependency failed. Like your configuration is good, but the dependency is just not available or something like that. You're calling an API and it's down, right? That's a dependency exception, right? There's a third one, but I can't remember. Okay, so let's just go back here. Do you see anything here that would be considered dependency validation? That something that we passed in that is the problem and not necessarily the code itself? So method access, not supported exception, invalid operation, target exception, invalid cast exception.
So invalid operation, I can imagine, would be a dependency validation exception.
How come?
Because we're calling invoke on something that's invalid to call invoke on.
Okay.
So that means that one of our arguments doesn't line up.
Right. Okay.
Method access exception could be the same as well, because we're saying, hey, it's got this thing, but it's defined privately. But since we're interacting with iQueryable, I would find that really
unlikely.
Yeah, unless it was some sort of what we were calling the method that we're invoking was like an extension method that was provided in some other library that's not part of core iQueryable, if you like. So in which case that could be either, basically, couldn't it?
It can be.
Target parameter count, that's an interesting one. So we're calling that with an unknown number of parameters. What we're calling is generated code.
Yeah.
Interesting.
When they say target, they mean the method, right, Sam? What's target? It's the method, right? So target parameter count exception, that's internal in our configuration because we don't give the.
So we've tokenized some OData query. We've translated that into a method call on an iQueryable, and the number of parameters that we're giving to invoke, or potentially the method call, is the incorrect number. I think in this case it would refer to invoke though. So since that's not dynamic code, we're either going to call that correctly every time or not at all any time.
Then it's dependency.
Yeah, so I think that one's probably a red herring. I don't think we're ever going to see that thrown. I could be wrong. Unless somehow because what's being passed in is an iQueryable T, and iQueryable is an interface, it's possible that some implementations of iQueryable could require a different number of parameters for some reason.
Right.
So in that instance, you're dealing with the thing that implements iQueryable has done something weird.
Right.
So it's not EF anymore. It's like something else. Like, I don't know, let's say a new not EF thing comes out and we get our iQueryable from that. And now it needs a parameter to call, whatever it is we're calling on it.
Okay.
The invalid cast exception.
By the way, just so you know, I can also bring up the ChatGPT explanation.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that might help clarify it.
So I can go back here and say, this one that we're discussing right here is the target exception. This can be thrown by the method info invoke method if the specified method is not static. So it's one or all fail. It's not one thing or another.
So that's unlikely then, because either our function works or it doesn't, right?
Right.
Based on that explanation. And because we've got tests that are showing that it works, it's not likely that it's not going to, if that makes sense.
Let's consider these as dependencies for now. And, I'm open to kind of suggestions on this later. What I want to do here is just write a failing test for this, Paul. If I go into the exceptions area in here.
The only other one that I would move down is the top one, the invalid cast exception, because that means that what we've passed in can't be cast to a method invoke.
Is that dependent on the input?
Yes, because it's the second parameter that we pass into the method is an expression. If that can't be cast to a method invoke expression, because we didn't correctly build a method invoke expression to call that with, then that will cause that. So that's on us.
That's fair.
Does that make sense?
And then, I want to go back here and want to say, let's see here. The one that we had in the past was basically failed dependency exception. I'm going to steal that guy, really, all in all. And then I'm going to collapse all of this. And I'm basically saying for this side of the world should throw dependency exception on apply. And this is dependency, apply dependency exception. Right? And here's the exception. Here is your inputs. Your inputs here are a little bit different though, because our inputs here need to be just random source and all that, all the way down to here. And I want to go up in here. I'm going to filter those. So here's all this. We basically want just a apply expression of object. And this guy needs an input source and an input expression. Right? We'll call it some source and some expression because we really don't care. So some source and some expression. Like that.
Lowercase s.
Where? Oh, yeah. So this guy is returning a constant expression.
Did you ever pay out your $25 Amazon voucher for random expression generation to someone in the community?
I don't remember. I know I paid something to
I know
someone.
you challenged the community to
Mhm.
coming up with a mechanism for generating random expressions, and I was just curious to see if anything came out of that.
I took the money and ran away.
Oh, brilliant. Excellent. That's the way to do it. Yeah.
I can run for politician if I want to. Okay, so let me throw all that garbage out. I just want really just a sum expression, and this is some O expression.
I had to think about that actually.
Mm.
When you presented the challenge, you didn't say that was also valid in an OData context, because the
Mhm.
wide scope of all things expressions that could be generated is much wider than the net that we cast with OData, right? Because there's a
Mhm.
very small subset of potentially valid expressions.
Yep. What
So
does this
yeah,
guy? So this guy here is, I don't care. I'm basically saying it is any
I queryable
iQueryable
object.
of object,
That's it.
but it is also any expression, right?
Yeah,
It'll be
and
interesting.
you're missing a there closing arrow. That's it.
Good. And then this guy apply expression is not actually asynchronous. So it's just throws. And then let's clean these up a little bit.
Yeah.
Push that out there. Simplify this here. Great. Which means I can just pass in here some source and some O expression. In fact, I actually don't think we need that either. Unless we're validating.
Would it be some expression, not O expression? Oh, this is a test for the service on top of the broker, right?
Mm.
Right.
So this guy is not awaitable, so it just returns an iQueryable ideally, so it's an action. And that guy is action, like this. And we need to encapsulate that as an action, so let's take this guy out. And this is not a task anymore. We can pass it as is, and this guy is not throwing async, it just throws. And
Here, wait. 137.
apply expression, action. We should probably call it apply O expression action. And this guy goes out, Control KD. And then I want to verify that this little guy here has been called at least once. So verify, take all the way up here, do a times once. And I know now that my tabs are screwed up. Oh boy, yeah, that's bad. Why is it doing that? That's really annoying. Maybe the whole thing is whack. Hold on. So that will go like this, and then these will go like this. And then this will go like this. Ah, much better. Okay, so that should fail because it's not going to throw the right stuff. And this guy is not asynchronous, that's great. And here's autocomplete telling me it's occurs and you don't know how to spell. We should do the same for the...
And log it, capital I.
And there is no logging. There's no logging even. So whenever we wrote this, that was also wrong. So log, I don't think I wrote that one. I never write log it this way, but let's take this out.
You can take out the and as well.
Oh, that's a good idea, Paul. So that's done. Okay, so this test here should fail. I'm gonna run everything in here because I changed a bunch of things.
Yeah.
What are these guys talking about? They're talking about the gender of ChatGPT. Dude, what are they doing?
Because you start that topic.
Why doesn't somebody ask ChatGPT what its preferred pronouns are?
Oh, that's a good idea. We should probably do that. We'll try. We'll try. So okay, so this thing, hang on. This thing is throwing the right exception. This is all good, and you know some of it is being handled because I did say put it in debug mode, and let's go back here onto the services. Yeah, and the right one is failing. Is it failing for the right reasons? Yes, it is. You're supposed to throw this and throw that. Okay, let's see who's on the list here to go next. Let's see. So the last person that made a commit was me, as usual. And the last person that made a pass there was Sam. That's Paul. Paul, you gotta be the one. Yay!
Oh, jeez. What do you want me to do? This
Do
is
stuff.
really abstract stuff, right?
Hmm.
So, first thing I need
So
to do
we have the history. So
is figure
history
out where I put it.
the whole day.
Which branch are we in? Foundations expression apply, yeah?
Yep. It's in your name. You started
It's
it.
in my name. Wow.
Yeah. For once, you're actually
I
leading
did
the.
some work. I thought I'd get in there first before you did. Alright. Neo, right? Yeah, this one.
Yeah, ChatGPT is cool. I like it.
Right.
Oh my God, dude, you can't
What?
do this.
This is massive, mate.
Massive to you.
Yeah.
Zoom in a little bit.
That better?
Better. And zoom in the code. Done.
All right. So
Why
we've
is it
got
so
our.
dull? Are you saving electricity? Let's go.
I think I changed the font to a slightly lighter one because the default one is really like bold. For some reason, it started annoying me one day. Why is every test failing? Oh, it's only not every test. It's just 3 tests are failing.
Hassan, I can see your reflection and your screen in the TV on your right. Yep, it's awesome.
So it's no tokenization. It's none of these, is it?
It's the one that's look in the new ones, the blue ones.
Oh, in the blue ones, yeah. Why does it keep filtering the tests? That really annoys me.
Just filter to blue. Do you know how to filter to blue?
Yeah, just right. So
run all of these.
They're not all new.
There you go. Run again. Just click run. Right click run. Bro. Right click run.
Why is it not running them?
Right click run. Dude, what's the matter with you?
It's not running them. That's weird.
This is my Thursday afternoon right here. You know,
right
or Thursday
run.
morning.
Oh, you can't see the pop-up. So I've actually right-click run like several times.
Oh, you did? Okay, so go to the red one. Click on the red one.
Can you see that? No, you can't see it. That's weird.
Click the red. Click the red. Failing test. Click.
Right.
So there should, yeah, there it is. Should throw dependency exception on apply. That's the one. Fix it.
It's this guy, is it?
Yep.
Okay. So talk me through your thought process on this.
Just pick up the ones and handle them. Just pick up the ones in the list and handle them. So go to that test that's failing. Go to the test.
Oh, why don't you take me there? Normally, I used to be able to just double click on it. And it would just take me to it. It doesn't do that anymore.
Everything is broken. Do you see the error message at the top? Feature diagnostic analyzer runner is currently unavailable due to an internal error. So close that. Close it. Just like that. It's not an error anymore because you can't see it. It's the ostrich algorithm. Dig your head in the sand. You know, be like, hey, look, it's solved. We don't have a problem with it.
I love the ostrich algorithm. It's so helpful. Right, I assume it's this one then, the O expression service, yeah?
Oh, yeah. We need so click on the red. Do you see that red stuff on the left down? Yeah,
This one?
click on any of these. It's not taking you anywhere either.
No,
I think you need to restart Visual Studio.
I think my Visual Studio is broken. Let me kill it. This is really bad, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Oh, Sharf is not wrong. You guys can see the reflections over here.
Yeah. I was looking at that earlier and thinking, that's cool. Right. Let's try this again.
Florian says, I mean, I like the idea of Next.js app. Did he just say JS? We don't say the J word around here.
Yeah, did he just swear
Did he?
publicly?
I think he did swear publicly. I think our video will be rated. You know, we're not gonna be able to get donations. You know,
That's
for
it, yeah. Let's try this again.
Florian just said JS on a public stream. Can you believe this?
Disgusting. Jeez. I think you need to, like, yeah, that's just, oh. Feel physically sick. All right, so is this actually
the
set up
test.
to throw those exceptions? Is it?
Yeah. So scroll up and go to this member data.
So it's going to throw one of the exceptions in here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Go inside these. Do you
These
remember
guys.
Yep. Do you remember the trick I showed you? How you do you write catch blocks all in parallel? Oh my God.
Of course not.
Of course not, right? Okay. So after the new keyword,
Yeah.
do Alt and drag down. Alt and drag down. Yep, stop right there. And then do Control Shift right. And then do Control C.
Got him.
And then let's go to the try catch exception catcher in the service. Yep, apply expressions right there. Yep. And then go to try catch. And then go right under that catch, paste. Do Alt drag from the top down again.
Give me a sec.
Pay attention, Paul. This is very important stuff.
Yeah.
And then do catch.
Catch.
Open parentheses.
One of those.
Do Control Shift right. And then do right. Click the right button. And then do space. And then paste. Do Control V. And then do Control Shift left. And then do left. And then type Shift and then one button right.
What?
Shift, one button right. No, come on, man. Shift, nope. To the right. You know where your right is?
Yeah. Oh, my bad. Yeah.
And then do Control U. Good. And then type in left.
Left.
And then Control Shift right. And then do Control C. What did you do? That's not what I asked you. Control Z.
What?
Control Z. Control Shift left. And then Control C.
Okay.
And then click the right button. Close parentheses. Take a new line. And then,
What?
absolute, I don't know what to say. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Control Z, go back. Oh,
Alright.
oh, you peasant. You just want to work all day just clicking buttons without using your brain.
I just want to work.
Type
Okay.
enter.
There
And
we
then
go.
take a new open squiggly. new line, and then type, and then go up, new line, type in var failed O expression dependency exception. What's that? Funk English? Is that what? Failed O expression, E capital, E uppercase, son.
Expression.
I can see how the.
Dependency exception.
Yep, equal new.
Equals new.
Failed O expression dependency exception. Take a new line under that, and before you start typing that, just take a new line. Yep, new expression dependency exception. There's a C there in exception. Exception. Good. And then go into the input, then do Control V.
Control V.
Good. Take a new line. Nope. Yeah, take a new line.
Oh, in here.
No. Take a new line under that. 2 lines actually.
In here, yeah.
Yep. Take another one, and then type in throw.
Throw new
O expression dependency exception.
O expression and
Exception.
I can't type.
Yep, and then type in there failed O expression dependency exception.
Failed O expression
Dependency exception.
C.
Okay, Sam.
Sam, gotta go.
He's doing a stand up. He's gonna be back in a sec. Okay. Did you type this exactly the same way you defined your variable?
Apparently
Failed
not.
O expression dependency except. Oh, you put an E after the P in the one above it. It's okay. Write it wrong. Like type in EXCPETION. And then just fix the variable name, and it should just do it for you. No.
Will we just do name? Are you kidding me?
Just do this. Go on failed O expression dependency exception, and just do. No. You need help. You need serious help, dude. Like, what's the matter with you? Why are you doing this manually? It's just so bad. It's so bad.
Oh, it's just habit. There you go.
Oh my god. Don't be proud of him. Don't encourage him, you know? He's doing terrible.
See, I get appreciation from the community.
No appreciation for you. You're not going to get it from me. It's just never. Not even once. All right, man.
The brutal standards that Hassan has. You can't even put a key out of place.
Don't. Now you're trying to help him. It's not gonna work. Okay, run the test. It should pass now. Let's see. Done. Mark that test as pass.
Yerp.
Yerp.
Yerp. Yep. There we go. Stage. And it's, what was the test name? This one.
Do control minus. You should find it. Control minus.
Control minus?
Yeah. Again. Again. I think that's it. Is it it? Yep, that's the one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, sir. And commit that. Now, you owe me for tomorrow's session, you owe me a test that does the dependency validation exception. It's very similar to this one. And then we'll let Sam do it and write a test, a failing test for service, and that would be it.
I'll try not to leave a whole bunch of copy and paste errors this time.
Yeah, I'll try to get us together around 11 o'clock, like around this time, like an hour from now, an hour from now, and hopefully that will kind of do the trick for us. But other
Nice.
than that, I think that's a wrap for the session today. We have only 2 more tests to go, and then we can go up to the orchestration service, and then let the orchestration service just do the apply, like the generation of O expression and the application of the O expression. It'll be just one shot, and then we can release alpha. We can just give people alpha release and tell them, hey, test it out. It works in some places. It still needs stabilization, but we'll continue to work on that. I think we're almost there, Paul.
Yeah, I'm quietly positive about it all because I think this would be a key milestone for us, right? I mean, you've already released it anyway, but what we're doing now is just refining things essentially.
Yep.
So it'd be interesting to see where it goes.
Sounds good. Thank you all for the people kind of following us on the stream, and thank you all for joining in. And Sam, wherever you are, just join us tomorrow, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care, Paul. Thanks.
Cheers, man.